Morning, Bizzers. So let's see. We can look at the view. So nothing spectacular. It's a little gloomy today again. Okay, kind of a lot gloomy. So today I want to talk about confidence, and I'm going to tell you about what happened in my day yesterday. So for my birthday, I wanted a new computer because those of you who've been on any calls with me know sometimes my internet seems to be crappy, but it's actually not my internet, it's actually my computer that isn't able to handle what I'm doing and isn't able to handle all the things. So my brothers are both computer programmers. That's their profession. They have security access and the whole 9 yards. They're actually legitimate computer programmers. I can do computer programming, but it's I didn't go to school for it. It's just sort of things that I figure out along the way, right? So I asked my brother for a recommendation on what computer I should buy. And, he knows that I'm not like he is as far as computers go. And I know you guys all think I'm super techie, and I am super techie, but not as much as them. So I asked for his suggestion, and he suggested a pre-built computer, which is what most people would think, right? Up to this point, I've always got on a laptop because I had to be portable. But now, since I'm actually staying home, I don't have to be portable. So I told him I wanted a desktop because I knew that I would be able to get better power on a desktop. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little techie here. I promise we're about to be done. So he recommended a pre-built computer. I think it was Dell or Toshiba. I don't know. And I was like, I would really rather not do that. And he's like, why? And I was like, because I'm tired of having to spend $2,000 or, $1,000 for a laptop to get what I needed. It was a $2,000 laptop. Every single time I had to buy one, it's been around $2,000. For a desktop, probably $1,200, something like that. I don't want to spend that much money every time I need to upgrade my computer. It's just ridiculous. And every single one has some type of a problem, and I can't fix it because it's not fixable. And there are some things you can do with pre-built desktops, but not what I wanted. So I was like, so I've never built a computer before, but do you guys think that you can walk me through it? Meaning my two brothers. And can you help me? And so he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll make you a list of what pieces you need to get. So he's coming from a perspective of someone who does more stuff than I do with computers. So he gives me a list, and it's very expensive. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I was like, but all of this stuff is upgradable. All this stuff can be changed out in the future if I need something better or whatever. And he's like, well, these are all top of the line, so you're really not going to need anything better. But if at some point you did, yes, you could upgrade it. And I'm like, okay. And so then he messaged me. So that was several months ago, but I never got around to getting them. So he messaged me again. He's like, I'm going to update this list to be things I think will be better for what you need. He's like, let me talk to you about what exactly you need to do. And I'm like, well, I need dual monitors. And so we go through the list. So he gives me the list, but I don't know how to build a computer. I've taken things apart. I've played with it. I'm not confident in my ability. So today's call is all about confidence. And I wanted to remind you guys that sometimes we aren't confident in ourselves. So I was not confident in my ability to make this computer. I felt like I probably could do it, wasn't really sure about it, and I didn't want to mess it up because I didn't know, I don't know, if I touch certain parts, is it going to mess it up? Do I have to keep things a certain facing? Or, there's things like that you just don't know. And I didn't know. And so I asked all these questions and blah, 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 whatever. So I went ahead for my birthday. We ordered some of the parts. I paid for some of the parts for my business. I got all the pieces. And I'll be doing a TikTok later about it because I'm super excited. But so you guys can check that out. But I got all the pieces. And yesterday I messaged them and I'm like, hey, are you guys free? I've got to go somewhere at 7 o'clock. But if you're free now, we could put the computer together. And so they're like, oh, it's simple. It's just like a puzzle. Just put the pieces where you think they go. Of course, always undersimplifying things, right? Which I'm sure you guys sometimes feel like I do to you. And I was like, well, I'd really appreciate it if you get on a call with me. So they get on a call. And so we're putting the computer together. And they end up telling me to put it together in basically the wrong order, which makes it really a lot harder to put together. And as I'm doing it, I find out there's this one fan that has this goo on the back that you have to make sure you don't touch or set down or anything because it makes the heat transfer better or whatever. So there's stuff that I wouldn't have known. That's the point. That I didn't understand, that I didn't know needed to be done because I've never done it before. I'm not an expert in it. But I was able to do it. And now I have, very excited, a much better computer. Now I got on it this morning, started installing my Chrome stuff and whatever. I haven't done anything yet on it that actually would cause an issue with my current computer. So far I don't really see that it's so much better. As a matter of fact, I only have one monitor because the second monitor I'm getting for Christmas. So it's actually kind of worse in some ways. But I know once I get everything set up on it and I'm using it, and I also realized I didn't get a camera, which I need if I'm going to do Zoom calls and things. So there's a few things I'm still working out, but I want to go back to confidence. So this is probably not a story that you guys can relate to. I don't know how many of you would build a computer from scratch. But I think that it relates to you because I think there are oftentimes things that you probably should or need to be doing for your business that you decide that you can't do. You don't have faith in yourself to be able to do it. You don't believe that you can. You think, well, maybe I could do it, but I'm not really confident that I can. And that's how I felt about this. Like, I know that if I do this option, it's going to be better for my business and better for me in the long run. It's not something I've ever done before. I'm not sure that I can, but I have these two guys that are going to help me with it, my two brothers. And I had confidence that they could do it. So even though I wasn't sure that I could do it, I was sure that they could, because they've built probably hundreds of computers between the two of them. And so I want to remind you that sometimes you don't have to have confidence in yourself. I think oftentimes it is good to have confidence in yourself, but you don't have to have confidence in yourself in every situation. Like, there are situations that if you were like, Elise, I need you to do this thing, you'd be like, oh yeah, I can do that, no problem. And I have tons of confidence in myself. But there are other situations where I don't feel that way. And that's the same for everybody. And that isn't something to feel ashamed about or bad about. I think that's kind of good. It gives you the opportunity to trust somebody else, have confidence in somebody else. And I think that's a good skill in business and in life, to be able to trust in somebody else. And so I want to ask you today, for those things that you don't have confidence in, like, I'm sure there are things you do, like maybe you're really excellent at whatever you make or whatever you sell, but there are things you probably aren't as confident in. Who do you trust with those things? Who do you have confidence in to help you get those things done? Maybe you're less than spectacular at social media and you've hired a social media manager. Maybe you struggle with tech and then have someone that you trust for tech. Maybe you don't like writing emails and you have someone that does that for you. Or whatever the case may be, it's important to understand that your confidence does not have to only be in yourself. I've spent the last 6.5 years, since I've been working on my businesses, basically trusting in myself. I have staff, and I do trust them with certain things, but a lot of those things I double check. And part of that is because I know I need to, but part of it is just because it's hard for me to let go. I basically have only trusted in myself this entire time. For 6.5 years, I've been building my business alone. And when I thought about this computer and how it basically required me to have faith in someone else, now granted they were my brothers, so it's, but it really occurred to me that in business, that's what you have to be able to do. You have to be able to come out of just being you and being alone. Even as a solopreneur, you are sometimes going to have to trust someone else to help you. And so I guess what I want to know is, who do you have confidence in? Who do you trust with the things that you're not as good at, with the things that you don't have confidence in? And do those people help build your confidence? Because after building this computer and seeing how my brothers messed orders up and didn't tell me things quite right each time, and it was a lot of guessing and I don't know, supposing what would be the next step, even after they built all those computers and they have so much experience, me watching them tell me what to do actually made me more confident. And I feel like next time, I probably wouldn't need their help as much, or maybe at all. So it's important that you can trust somebody, but it's also important that that person helps you build confidence in yourself. And so I guess I want to know, what do you have confidence in? Who do you have confidence in? And how does that person help you get more confidence? Because that is really what it's all about. So I'm super excited about my computer. I am very nervous about 2023. I don't know, maybe this is a different topic of conversation.